Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Giri and Vikas. So, before I begin, I'd like to, once again congratulate all of you for your selection to this prestigious award. And going by the statistics that Vikas shared, it really is phenomenal that Abe, that 9.9 and IT Next have actually created a platform such which helps identify future CIOs, and the process behind doing that is also incredible. And what it does is it reposes faith in something that all of us deal with at a day-to-day basis, which is that life is not about doing operational stuff or doing strategic stuff. It's about balancing both of them. And you have demonstrated over a period of time your ability to balance that. And as you step forward into the next phase of your careers, I'm sure that's going to be something that's really going to differentiate how you stand vis-a-vis everybody else and how you actually make a difference to your respective businesses. One of the things that I get asked a lot is the transition from Microsoft to Avaya. And I just wanted to take a minute or two to talk about that. One of the things that you tend to start realizing if you spend a lot of time on the IT side of things, on the compute side of things, is that one of the bigger challenges that you're seeing, especially in developing economies like India, is the fact that IT is creating a digital divide. And suddenly that's posing a problem that was not thought of before. And then you try to constantly figure out how do you balance that digital divide and how do you actually overcome that digital divide. And when you really think about it, the other element of the digital divide is that you see a lot of the compute vendors trying to get to natural user interfaces. Really trying to see how you can make IT simpler for people to consume. And when you think from that standpoint, there are two things that are absolutely intuitive to all of us, which all of us do really well, which is basically talk and do it, and if it's face-to-face, nothing like it. So if you really think about it, if you can have voice-based collaboration and video-based collaboration, what you can actually do is you can collapse that digital divide. And so I'm encouraging all of us to think about what are the ways in which we can put a wrapper on the front end of the compute power that we build through IT, and put voice and video as a wrapper to actually help more and more people be able to consume the IT power that we create through technology. And that's one of the things that it's interesting that it can actually help change the landscape of how people consume IT and how you actually drive your impact within your organization, society at large, at a much faster pace. That's really how I thought about Avaya, and how Avaya is really positioned in the center of this place where you can actually take the compute power that you generate and bring it across to your organization without people actually having to learn something new, or if you're on the government side, how can you take it to reach out to more and more people? All of this has to happen at a fairly quick pace, and speed today is what differentiates businesses. When we look at Avaya really delivers business collaboration, focusing on the customer experience and simplifying communications across networks. Right? And that's really what Avaya as a company is focused on. And when you build that up with the vision that Avaya brings to the table, it's about connecting the right people at the right time with the right information. And what this does is it actually allows for this collaboration to actually start making business benefit. Right? And what does that do for your business is that it allows customers and their teams to take more informed, faster business decisions. And at the end of the day, if all of us are able to facilitate for that, we all have our businesses to be far, far more successful than where we are. And that's really what we believe, and we term it as the power of we. And that's really the promise that Avaya brings to the table, and that's what we look at delivering to, right? Let me give a little bit more context to this. If you really think from the transition from 2000 into the new millennium, what we've seen is it's been a proliferation of devices, computing, broadband, how people access technology, and all of it, and it's transformed in the last 10 years. You know, India from 300 million mobile users going all the way to close to 1 billion people. So people are using, consuming technology in ways and means that we've never thought of before. And what that does is it really starts to put a lot of pressure on each and every one of us to ensure that we're able to give this access to people without slowing down our entire food chain. Because, you know, enterprises are highly interconnected places, and you're as good as your weakest link, right? And so the challenge upon all of us is to ensure that we're able to bring or give the ability to all our users who are coming into our network in various different ways, through the mobile, being on the road, bringing their own devices, what have you, right? And how do you give that access in a way and manner that people can consume the IT power that you generate and be able to make smarter decisions at the right time with the right information, right? And if you really think about it, the other overlay factor that's playing for all of us, and in the morning we were having a conversation with one of you who was saying how his IT budgets are being cut on a year-on-year basis, and that's a reality for all of us. That's something that we are figuring out how to live with, right? And what that's doing is it's really driving us to generate a whole bunch more operational efficiency, being able to do things in a much more smarter way, and radically redefine the paradigms in which we're working, right? And that's putting a lot of pressure, and it's actually helping us create breakout solutions, and thereby helping us far forward. From an Avaya standpoint, we believe that these two factors that are really pushing us is creating 3 investment strategies, right? One is really how do you sweat your assets, which means that we're not thinking of rip and replace at any given point in time. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. So, in conversation with one of the governments one of the state governments in India, we realized that they have made a huge investment in TDM-based telephony, and they're looking at creating a closed user group across the state. And for that to be available, everybody was coming back to them and giving them a solution to actually rip and replace. And really what that's doing is it's putting pressure in terms of people having to rip their assets and rebuild it. And we went to them offering them the solution that we'll actually build it off your existing network, and that's helping them realize more from their assets. Doing more with less is a constant challenge that all of us have to go with, and that's something that's a day-to-day challenge that all of us face. And all of this has to create a differentiated competitive advantage, right? Which is what all of you have demonstrated over a period of time, and we're hoping that we'll continue to see more of that. Now, what this does really is, like I said, the sweating of your assets reduces TCO, it reduces your communication costs, and it allows us to consolidate and share applications, right? Thereby bringing down OpEx, and that's really critical for businesses. Doing more with less really helps us simplify our customer and user experiences, which really allows us to rapidly deploy technologies, right? And it helps drive productivity and customer responsiveness. And of course, this also starts to help us change how we do the work, and it integrates communications with business applications, thereby enabling the right people to make the right decision at the right time, right? And so we believe that this is the balance that all of us are striving for, and if we are able to strive and achieve this balance, what we will be able to do is we will be able to consolidate, empower and transform our respective enterprises. We're happy to be part of this journey, and we'd be more than happy to partner with any of you to actually help your organization achieve this transformation objective that you might have, without losing focus on the fact that you've got to run the operational stuff, you've got to keep the costs down, and you've got to ensure that you're sweating your assets in its entirety. Once again, congratulations, and on behalf of Avaya, thank you so much for everything that you've done, and we look forward to partnering with you.